Good morning, everyone. This is my first time live stream, and I just want to test how the live stream in the YouTube, how it work. Just this. And today I want to talk about one topic. So how Shanghai language or Shanghai or Wu is is like close or related with Cantonese or any other languages. Maybe I will extend a little bit. For example, how Wu is linked with maybe Taiwanese or even Vietnamese. I will talk about those topics. So I found there's one group of language. They are very close to each other. They are not close to Mandarin Chinese, but they are very close to each other. It's Wu Taiwanese or Hokkien,ese. Then Cantonese, Hakka, and Gan language. They are very close with each other. I will explain you why. At first, their words to talk about he or she. They always use a word like sounds like 佢 or 己 or 一 those kind of sounds. So they have same origin. Maybe it will sound like 一 or 居 or gu, those kind of sound. So it proves those language have the same originality. But in Mandarin Chinese, this word is called ta. And another clue is in those languages, the word to describe owning or belonging is ge or ge or e, those kind of sound. In Shanghai language, ge or ge. In Cantonese is ge, and in Hokkien,ese is e. So it also have some patterns. But in Mandarin Chinese, this word is di or de or sometimes le. So Mandarin Chinese in this word, it cannot have same originality. And I can explain you more about how Wu can relate it with Cantonese. So Wu and Cantonese, they don't have any borders with each other. So Wu is in the very east and very end of the Yangtze River, and Cantonese is in the south part of the Pearl River. So why those two languages can relate with each other? It's because people can take boat and travel from Shanghai to Canton. That's a very simple reason why those two language without border they can be related. I will introduce you some example of Cantonese, how Cantonese was influenced by Shanghai language. For example, the first word I can explain you like pa, it means the rib from 熬爬, 猪扒. But in Wu, this word pronounced as ba, ba, 扭巴, 滋巴. So why it become pa? It's because in Cantonese the b sound didn't exist, so they transform it into pa. So ba in Wu it means rib or row or like a volley of, because the rib is looks like a volley For the 把过 means the rib or the bone. 过 means bone. So 把过 means a volley and a volley of bone. So the meat, the um the flesh with the rib is also called 把. For example, 把过,滋把过, 赌把过, 笑把过. So in Cantonese, its meaning changed to just about meat, 拗扒, 居扒. And another example is like 嗲 means cute or sweet. This word is come from 嗲 in Shanghai language. So the 嗲 become 嗲. It's because in the Cantonese the ya sound didn't exist. So Cantonese speaker changed a little bit into 嗲. 嗲 means 嗲 in Shanghai language means cute. Sometimes means like nice or very well, excellent. For example, 老嗲, it can means very cute. It can also means excellent, so excellent. And there's many words. I can give you some words like how Shanghai language was influenced by Cantonese. For example, in Shanghai language, the Wang and Wang is same. So the color and the king, the word for color and for the king, the yellow and king is same. It's a meme because in Mandarin Chinese or in Wenzhou, Yujiawo, or in Hokkien,ese those two words are not same and not related with each other at all. But however, in Wu and Cantonese, those two language, they have this coincidence. So Wang can means yellow. It can also means king. It can be a coincidence. It can also because of those two languages, they are influencing with each other. And during my study, I found there are some groups between those languages. I found the Wu and Hokkien,ese and Yujiawo, the Wenzhou language, they are one group, and Cantonese and Hakka language, they are another group, and the Gan language or Gam language, they are just between those groups. In some parts, looks like Cantonese. In another part, it sounds like Wu, or even sounds a little bit like the Mandarin Chinese. So why I made this conclusion is because in Wu and Hokkien,ese there's some patterns and there's some the vocabulary and grammar. For example, in Shanghai language, the word, for example, 记得 and 记得 means one, and 外 means mine. So this is Taiwanese. In Shanghai language, 五个 and 一个. They both use one word to represent the the for example, the the word for belonging and the word for the it's a gender. It's a gender in our language. So the gender word and the word for belong for representing belong is same. The ge is the most frequent gender word in Shanghai language and in Taiwanese, and they are both same. They use one word to represent two meaning, and it didn't cause the the contradict. However, in Cantonese, it's different. It sounds like 我嘅 and 一個. So 嘅 and 個, they are two different words. However, in Cantonese, 個 and 個人,一個,個人, it didn't, the 個 in 一個 and 個人 is same. However, in Shanghai language, it's like 一個孤寧, 孤寧. So the word 個 for representing one or the one most common gender is same in Cantonese. However, in Shanghai language, it have two different pronunciation. Different pronunciation is 个 一个 and 孤 孤寧 or 孤梯. And I also found the Shanghai language share some words with Vietnamese. It is very shocking because the Vietnamese and Shan language it don't belongs to a very close family. However, they share some basic word. I don't talk about the Sino Chinese the Sino Vietnamese words. I talk about the very basic words. For example, mất mất in Vietnamese means loss or just loss. Lost something, I lost something, or something passed away. Somebody passed away. It's mất mất. And in the Shanghai language, it also mất mất. The tone is different. The meaning is almost same. Mất can means pass away and loss. It can also means haven't got. It's a little bit like không có. Similarity, it have more meaning. It also means không có in Vietnamese, I don't have, haven't got. It can also means lost and pass away. Mất. And another example is dính. Dính. Dính in Wu means find. And in Vietnamese, this word tìm. Tìm. Tìm is also find. However, we found in Cantonese, they don't use this word to represent find. So I don't know how to explain that. It's some sort of paratrooping between Wu and Vietnamese. It's hard to explain, but it's just happened. I can even talk more about the the relationship between Wu and Hmong language, we found some similarity between Hmong and Wu language. For example, in both of the language, the people or person is called Ning or Neng. For example, Neng means people or person. Ning means people or person in Wu language. Neng is in Hmong language. And they both have two versions. For example, Dua Reng means the majesty in Hmong language. The people or person was changed to Reng. Its pronunciation changed to Reng. And in Wu language, there also a word is called Zeng. Zeng. So Zeng is equal with Reng in Hmong. And there's many other examples. For example, Yi and Iya, Gu Yao, Iya, Iya. The Iya word in Shanghai language is Yeyang. So Iya is equal with Yeyang in Wu language. Those words are much more Chinese related words, or they have same originality. I know in Hmong language, for example, gu, it very sounds like ngu in the Sha language, and however, other words is not quite same, quite same. I also found a similarity between Shanghai language and Cantonese. Is in Shanghai language we don't differ the word you, not that. It's we, the word we, and we include you and we not include you. We only have the word for we, like Allah and ngode. It is not about those two language, how those words influence with each other, but about how those language, the logic between those two language, how they influence with each other. For example, in Taiwanese and Vietnamese, the word we and include you is lan, lan and zhong da, and the word we but not include you is guan or gun and zhong doi, gun, zhong doi. But in Cantonese, they only use ngode. And in Shanghai language, we only use Allah. Some people use, for example, nguli. In fact, we have some clue that nguli is representing the we, the word we, but not include you. We but not include the person who's hearing. However, the differentiation between those two words disappeared in Wu language through its development. So in today's Wu language, both Wu Li and Allah have same meaning. The same meaning of we and include you. It can be a coincidence. It can also be a result how Cantonese and Wu language influence with each other. And I can talk more about how Cantonese is different with Wu language, or generally Taiwanese and Wu language. For example, the word for representing be or is in Cantonese is hai, hai, ngõ hai, for example, ngõ hai. But in Shanghai language is ngũ zi, ngũ zi, and in Taiwanese is guaxi, guaxi. In both of Taiwanese and Shanghainese, the word is kind of like xi or z. It maybe sounds like z, d, or z in ancient time, because in Hainan, maybe Hainan language is called di, di, di. However, in the Hakka language is and Cantonese, they use word hai. The word xi or zi is similar with Mandarin Chinese shi, but the word hai is totally different with the another word zi, or shi or xi. They definitely don't have any similarity and originality. They just share the same use. And another difference is in Cantonese. For example, we want to represent I gave you something. Their grammar is revert. For example, I won't give you a pen. In Shanghai language is 无不能一字变，无不能一字变 is 无 but means give. 一字 means one. 字 is the word for count or gender. 变 means pen. 无不能一字变 But in the Cantonese is 我俾知不你 So the word order is revert. The word pen is putting before the word you. It's 我俾知不你 it should not be 我俾你支筆 If you say 我俾你支筆 it should be wrong. It's wrong in Cantonese. The Cantonese grammar don't work like this. 我俾支筆你 Only Cantonese is using this word order. Even Hokkien is also 掛 Holly is kind of Holly. Is putting the people who receive the object before and putting the object behind. Even in Vietnamese, it's also same. Same with Taiwanese and Wu language. And another difference is the word for representing doing something. In Cantonese is 敢,做敢. However, in Shanghai language and Taiwanese is 了黑做 or 啲嚟做. So in Shanghainese and Taiwanese, they put the function word for representing doing. They are putting it before the word, it's before the word for do. But in Cantonese, they put it behind. They put a gun behind. It is because Cantonese is a language related with Thai language. In Thai language, the grammar is also like this. They put the word for representing doing behind the the verb. Sorry, behind the it should be behind the verb. Yeah, behind the verb. And we can even talk more about the word for numbers. So in Wu language, the number is a little bit different with the Cantonese and Hokkien. So Hokkien didn't exist a single syllable word for representing the word the word 20. In 20 in Hokkien is li za, or yi za, li za. However, in Shanghai language is called nie, and in Cantonese is ya, nie, and ya is for 20. So one single syllable representing 20. And in Cantonese, there also another word for representing 30 is sa. It didn't exist in Wu language. However, in Yujiao there's a word for representing 50 is called ngay. Ngay is 50. It's, it developed like this. It's nze, and the nze changed to ngay. I think the Cantonese sa is also evolved like this. However, I think the Shanghai language, nie, it is very, it is a very old word because, as I know, the word nie, nie, or nie also exists in the Hmong language. For example, 嫩搞一、嫩搞二、嫩搞杯、嫩搞blau. So the Hmong language, it should be the most far have the most far relationship with any other Chinese related language or Sino-Tibetan language. If the Wu language have a word similar with Hmong language, it can prove that this word have really thousands of years of history. It is not developed just several hundred years before. For example, the word for representing 50, ngay, I think it only have no longer than 500 years of history. But the word for nie, it should have, I think, at least 2,000 years of history. However, in Shanghai language, there's no a word to represent to be same with yi za, or yi sa in Hokkien or Cantonese. We only use 耳色 is a word from Mandarin Chinese. 耳色叶, 耳色凉. Or we use the original words 捏耶, 捏你. However, we don't speak 耳色你, we only speak 耳色凉. It's because the Wu language, it's especially Shanghai language, is particularly influenced by the Jianghuai Guanhua, or it is a version of Mandarin Chinese more related with Wu language. So in Jianghuai Guanhua, there's a word for two is called er se. So this word er se is mingled, is joined into Wu language. So people in Shanghai sometimes they will speak er se, er se liang, er se se. But I think the most proper version, the proper speak is 你耶你你。And let we talk about the tone. In fact, the tone for Yujiao language is the most original for any other Sino-Tibetan or related languages. In the most original, the tone system only have three tones: the rising tone, the flat tone, and the falling tone. So it's called 平上去入 or 平上会压 or 平上起入 in our languages. It's right, flat tone, rising tone, and falling tone. However, in Mandarin Chinese, Cantonese, and Taiwanese, and Vietnamese, and Thai language, the consonant changed. Some consonant, some consonant like n, m, and ng change to t or d, or b change to p or b, or ng change to k or g. It's because like this, the word, the tone will also change. It is because when you speak ng, m, n, l, or n sound, you will tend to make the tone a little bit lower. However, when people make those sound into you don't vibrate your throat. When you don't vibrate your throat, you still keep you still remain the tone of the vowel after the consonant, those consonants. So it will let the three-tone system becomes to six-tone system. In Cantonese, it has six tone. In Cantonese and Vietnamese have six tones, and in Taiwanese and Thai language have five tones. In Taiwanese, the rising tone didn't branch to two tone. It only has one rising tone. However, in Cantonese and Vietnamese, they have two rising tones. It also depends. For example, in Hong Kong Cantonese, it has two rising tones, and in Hanoi Vietnamese have two rising tones. However, in Macau Cantonese and in Saigon Vietnamese, they only have one rising tone. The the rising tone is like, for example, ho, and ngo. There's two rising tone. In Saigon and Macau language, they only have the higher rising tone, like the ho, on, or for example, In Yujiao language, those vowels, sorry, those consonants haven't changed. The vibrate consonants are still vibrate through 1,000 after 1,000 years, even more than 1,000 years. And in another case, the North Wu language, for example, Shanghai language, it has another changing. So in North Wu language, the three-tone system gradually become two-tone system. When a language only have two tones, the situation changed. It become for example, a word didn't really need to have a tone in each word, in each syllable. It only have a general, a high and low tone in a word. For example, mama means mother in Wu language. Mama means trade in Shanghai language. Mama and mama. But however, you take the ma and ma sound out, it didn't have some meaning. It didn't have useful meaning. The ma and ma didn't have meaning, the difference with each other. But mama and mama has difference. For example, in Shanghai language, we don't differ by and the Chinese character for buy and sell. However, in Cantonese, it's 买 and 买. In Shanghai language, 买 and 买 are pronounced as 麻. However, we will add some words, some functional words behind the 麻 for representing sell and buy. For example, 马特 and 马本. 马本 means sell to you. 本 means for. 马本 and 马特 is sell. Now 马特 means sold out. 马本 and 马特 means sell. But if we only speak 马 from 马么子, 马尾, 马撮子, 马 means only means buy. But 马特 and 马本 means sell. It is quite interesting. Because we think most of language like Cantonese and Taiwanese, they are related with the isolated language. Their grammar is isolated grammar, language grammar. But in Shanghai language, it's a little bit changed. So it is not one sound or one syllable represent one word. but it becomes to two sound or two syllable representing one word in Shanghai language. Although the vocabulary have same originality, but the grammar slightly changed. And in Cantonese, there's also some grammar is different with Taiwanese. For example, 食咗飯未啊你? 點啊你? So if we put the 你 means you behind the whole sentences, at the end of whole sentences, it becomes a questioning sentence. People don't tend to speak 你點樣 or 你食咗飯未 but 食咗飯未啊你 or 點啊你 it is a little bit like in English word we say do you have or you do have. It's different. 你點樣啊你 is more just listen more comfortable. But 你點樣 it can also means how are you. But 你點樣 can also means how you are in Cantonese. It's both how you are and how are you. But 點啊你 it can only means how are you. However, in Shanghai language, most people speak 侬哪能 or but we seldom speak 哪能侬. We don't speak like 哪能啊侬 做啥啊侬 we speak 做啥啊侬 we'll add a behind the before the you 做啥啊侬哪能啊侬 because in Shanghai language if we don't add a sound it will cause very huge confusion because Shanghai language only have very few syllables, few kinds of syllables. But in Cantonese, they have thousands of syllables, maybe nearly 5,000 syllables. In Shanghai language, we only have probably 1,000 syllables. I mean, the syllables can be differentiated by ear. I think in Taiwanese, they just speak lian noa or anoa. They cannot use, for example, anoa li. They don't use that. I think this is a specific grammar for Cantonese, like 點啊你 食咗飯未啊你 or 做咩啊你食咗飯未你食咗飯未啊你 And I also think let me think a little bit wider. I found the the Vietnamese and Wu language have one similarity is new and na. For example, new thế nào in Wu language is called na neng, and the word thế nào, the thế in Wu language is called is this word, for example, for lẻ xe or lẻ sư, lẻ zi or lẻ xe. I think they have same originality. It need to be improved. However, I think I just guess they have same originality. The word 诗 or or se have same originality with the word te in Vietnamese, and new and the word na neng na, they have same originality. So let we stop our talk.